everyone. Hi, welcome to this evening. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. My name is Jess and I'm a multidisciplinary artist. My pronouns are she, her, hers. Just to give a little audio description of myself in case that's useful for anyone. So I'm a white woman. I am 33. I think, on the last count. I am wearing a very, very sparkly leotard with gold sequins and big ruffly shoulders. I've got black curly hair and a fringe, and all my hair is up on top of my head. I'm wearing bright pink, very, very glittery lipstick and big gold earrings. And I am one of your co-hosts this evening. Now I'm going to hand over to Ariel, who's our other co-host.
Right, so my name is Ariel. I'm a multidisciplinary artist and I often help other people. My pronouns are he and him, and for those of you who can't see, I'm wearing a white t-shirt with white headphones and I have overgrown big hair.
I think we probably all do a bit at the moment. This is certainly the longest that my hair's ever been. How about you folks who are tuning in? So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about this event. And firstly, actually, I'm going to hand over to Ariel, who is going to give you a little taster of what's going to be happening tonight.
Well, tonight, here is some information about the event. Join us for an evening of conversation, art and music, reimagining the world we live in from the perspective of people with learning disabilities and autistic people. What would the world look like if it was designed by them? The Heart and Soul co-designers chose 4 artists to work with on an exhibition, exploring who they are and what they want to change about the world. From a card game to an art installation of lights and voices, step inside 4 very different online artworks and find out about the creative process behind them.
Exactly. So just to warn you, I'm going to do a little bit of chatting now, just a bit of housekeeping so we all know what to expect. But don't worry, the art isn't very far away. So I'm going to briefly run through the schedule for the event. First off, this is a relaxed event, so if you want to wriggle around and make noise, you're more than welcome. We're going to be monitoring the chat this evening because we want everyone to be safe, so please use appropriate language. Don't share any personal information or your contact details with people on the chat, and please be kind and respectful. If you need any more information about that, it's in the event details. So the event tonight is an hour and a half long, and together we will watch some films, speak with the artists that made them, then have a little break, and then come back for a Q&A with some of the people from the project. This evening is going to be recorded and will be available to watch again on Wellcome Collection's YouTube channel after the event. But don't worry, your cameras and microphones are off. So if you're in your PJs, no problem. Tonight we have speech to text provided by VoiceBox. This should be appearing across the bottom of your screen, and you can also access captions via a link in the event description and shared in the chat box now. When you click that link, a new tab containing the live captions will open in your browser. Now, if anyone is having any issues at all, then just let us know in the chat and someone from the AV team will come to your rescue. You can also give someone from Heart and Soul at the Hub a call to help, and that number is 0208 649 1632. That number again, 0208 694 1632. Now, my little love letter to Wellcome Collection. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Wellcome Collection, it is a free museum and library in London that explores health and being human, making connections across science, medicine, life and art. Now, though the building is currently closed for the time being, you can still engage with them through checking out their stories, their books and their live events online at welcomecollection.org. Now over to Ariel, who's going to tell you about Heart and Soul at the Hub.
For 2 years, Heart and Soul at the Hub was an experimental research project at Wellcome Collection, led by people with and without learning disabilities and autistic people. Tonight, we are celebrating one part of Heart and Soul at the Hub project, the launch of an amazing new online exhibition called A Different Kind of Future. To see this exhibition and for more information about Heart and Soul at the Hub, please visit our brand new website, heartandsoulatthehub.com.
Thank you, Ariel. Now, tonight is an interactive event, and so we would love to hear from you throughout the night. Now, there is a live YouTube chat where you can comment or ask a question at any time. Now, you need to be signed into YouTube to use that chat there. And see that loads of people are chatting already. But you can also ask questions and comments without signing in to YouTube via Slido. And the link for that event is in the description below. So why not give us a shout now and tell us where you're calling in from? Maybe you can even give us an audio description so we know exactly what you're wearing and where you're sat. So next up, we're going to watch a couple of videos to get us in the right mood for tonight. First is going to be a video called Meet the Team, and we're going to see all of the people and hear all of the people that we're going to be meeting tonight. And next up after that is Aishen's Recipes for the Future.
Hi everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. You're going to hear from a lot of different voices and see a lot of different faces this evening. Some of us will be live, some of us will be pre-recorded. We thought we'd kick you off by giving you a very quick introduction to some of the key members of the Inclusive Futures team. My name's Will, I am a researcher from the Royal College of Art, and I've been a happy member of the Inclusive Futures project since it started almost 2 years ago.
Hello everyone, welcome to our final Inclusive Future project. My name is Florence Marmon, I'm one of the co-designers. This exhibition's about inclusive futures, about changing things and making it new.
My name's Robin Stewart and I'm a co-designer in Inclusive Futures.
I'm Thomas and I'm one of the co-designers. I'm a member at Heart and Soul and I worked on the Inclusive Futures project.
I'm Chris McGinley. I'm a Senior Research Fellow at the Helen Hamlyn Centre for Design, based in the Royal College of Art. I lead the Age and Diversity research and design work there.
My name is Aidan, working at Autistic.
Hello, my name is Castro and I'm a co-designer and we've been designing various things. I hope you like what we've done.
Henry is a support bat and he is the official mascot of the Inclusive Futures project.
Recipes for your mind, your eye and your belly. Recipes for your mind, your eye and your belly. Smile at people and make them happy. Give your seat to help someone else. Don't stare at us if we are feeling sad or loud. Give us space when we are travelling on transport. Make us comfortable. Keep calm if we are slow to talk. Be patient if you can't understand us. Help someone out if they look like they need help. You can make a big difference to someone else's life.
Was so Gorgeous.
Mm.
Absolutely beautiful recipe for the future from Aishan. I feel very, very relaxed, just like I've been in a meditation. What about you, Ariel?
Well, I totally agree. It feels definitely a meditation type video.
So calming. I think that's put us in the right headspace for tonight.
Mm.
So we're going to have a little BSL changeover. So let's change over down. A little shift. And now, are we ready to see some artworks? Oh, drum roll, it's so exciting! Poop, poop, poop! Now, first up is our video, Inclusive Futures, made by artist and writer Rob Young.
Hi, my name is Rob Young. I'm a writer and artist, and my pronouns are he, him, is.
Can you tell us a bit about the artwork that you've made?
Well, we made a newspaper about the inclusive futures, I guess because we thought it would be good to share.
The idea was to have something physical that wasn't dependent on online.
The great thing about it being a newspaper is that it's the only exhibition that I know that you can make into a hat or a paper aeroplane. We've got lots of different voices, whether it's a recipe or a painting. People express themselves in all different ways. Our newspaper is printed on the same press as the national broadsheets, which I think makes it really credible.
How was the artwork made? What was the process?
I told Rob the story and he wrote the story down and he listened to my story. I told him the story about buses and it makes me proud, and Rob said Rob put it all together and it looks really good.
I felt like it was sort of cross-pollination in that, I was inspired by what other people were doing.
Have you learned anything from making the artwork?
Lots of people think of the art as a hobby or this frivolous add-on once the real work is finished, but the truth is that art is our most effective way of communicating what it is to be human. That's what we've done. We've found the distilled essence of what could be better and portrayed it in a bright, perky, positive way to share with everyone.
What's the message that the artwork sends out into the world?
The newspaper, my newspaper, what I did, that will go out to the bus people and they'll read that and that will tell them they should make the wheelchair space a bit bigger.
The thing about Inclusive Futures is it doesn't have an agenda other than everyone being included. It's just saying this is our experience and, well, that's kind of it. And I think that that's really nice.
One of the many things that I love about this project is that the research is led by disabled people. People often think of research as people in white coats in a cold, sterile laboratory, but the fundamental thing about research is it's making things better, and that is what we've all done. We've pulled together and come up with ideas to make the world a better place for everyone.
It's an amazing video and a beautiful piece of art. Now, here is something we could all hope to see. It's a video about the Hopes and Dreams tree made by Alice Helps. Take it away.
I'm Alice. My preferred pronouns are she, her. I'm a visual artist and set designer, and I build installations and set designs for things like theatre and performance.
Can you tell us a bit about the artwork that you've made?
It's a hopes and aspirations tree.
It was like a tree of what we hope for and would like to happen and things to do in different models and a video of it.
The premise behind it is that it creates a sort of space that people can visit and inhabit and sort of stay with and explore in quite an experiential way. So the tree's got 5 different jars sort of sprouting on it, and each of the jars contains the hopes and aspirations of one of each of the co-designers, which is represented in words and an animation.
How was the artwork made? What was the process?
Well, mine was a tree that I'd collected stuff out on walks and parks and clay, and made a tree and put the things in it together, and then made a video and took pictures of it.
I made a green tree with Alice and chose some materials, like colourful materials. She showed me some different powders, what she brought back from India, and I explained about that my favourite thing, I like Bollywood and I like Bollywood music.
I wanted to do something completely unusual, and I wanted to do something that links in with the music, so I thought, okay, cassettes. Yeah, so what I did was I made like a snake with the cassette on the paper.
I came into the hub and we were brainstorming different spaces and things, and one of the ideas that came up was Thomas actually showed me a model of a job centre that he'd made, which sparked all of the ideas that followed. In that instance, it was about sort of jobs and careers. I think it expands to something much broader than that. In order to sort of allow yourself to daydream and think about your future and your dreams, it's good to be able to sort of inhabit a creative and imaginative space.
If somebody was about to explore your artwork, is there anything that you would like them to know about it in advance?
What we've tried to create with this environment is taking away sort of time restrictions and making a space that allows for dreaming, so that people don't have to subscribe to this very prescriptive way of adhering to society. There are other routes that can give space and time for dreaming outside of linear routes, I think.
What's the message that the artwork sends out into the world?
One of them was love nature, and I think to have more spaces would be good and better for everyone, because it helps you connect with yourself and can feel better and relaxed. More people should live in the woods.
Well, I hope the message is that everybody should have an equal chance at dreaming, and that there's not this sort of invisible hierarchy of what people should be allowed to do and shouldn't be allowed to do, and what type of learner or a type of dreamer should be allowed to achieve success in the world and explore the spaces that you want to explore with creative freedom and without judgment or prescriptive rules that allow one type of thinker and dreamer to pursue them and others to have their dreams curtailed.
One of my hopes and dreams, because I love out in the countryside and woods, is to live in like a tree house and to have more woods and like outdoor spaces, because I find it relaxing. When it's really quiet, it can be like a different place altogether. And also I'd like to live abroad. I'd like to live in Italy for a while and learn Italian. So I'd like to live there, and one day I'd love to go to New Zealand and Australia, because that's very woody and a different environment. I found a really, really great tree. It was the perfect tree to climb. Like, it was really big and it was really spread out and like all intertwined. So it was like perfect for a tree house. I'd love to do that one day. Like have a woodland activity week, build and stay, like do campfires and all that. I'd like to work in theatre, building and designing sets. There was a couple at the National Theatre, Treasure Island, and I also saw a version of Alice in Wonderland there, which was like a virtual reality. The theatre's small, but it's got a good stage. And I think the other one would probably be the set from Cats. I did a short course. I think it was Royal Academy of Drama and Art. It was really good, and I'd love to do it again because I really enjoyed it. I'm just creative. Well, I enjoy doing art, and it helps sometimes with stuff. Well, it's always harder, I find, when it's flat, so it's good when it's 3D. And I find making stuff sometimes better. It's easier to see, I'll put it that way.
Beautiful. Welcome back, everybody. Now, we've got loads of people from all over the UK here. I have heard that there are people from Wakefield, from Sheffield, from Glasgow, from Shepherd's Bush, from Bedfordshire, Leeds, Northamptonshire, St Albans, Dorset, and we even have someone calling from Brooklyn. Now, my next question for everybody in the chat is, what would be in your dream jars? Let us know. Oh, and people are also asking about the getting physical copies of the newspaper. Now, the good news is that there is going to be a giveaway on the Heart and Soul at the Hub social media very soon. So watch this space. We're going to have a little BSL changeover now. So let's do the little BSL shimmy. And Ariel, would you like to welcome Alice and Rob?
Well, so welcome, Alice and Rob. Would you like to introduce yourselves to the audience?
Hi there, I'm Alice. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm talking to you here from my boat in London.
Could you also give us a little audio description of yourself as well, please, Alice?
Absolutely. I am a white female and I've got long blonde hair, and today I'm wearing a blue shirt with pink flamingos on it.
Thanks so much. And Rob?
Hello there, I'm Rob, the writer, and my pronouns are he, him, his. I'm wearing a loud shirt that looks either nice or horrible, depending on your opinion. I've got a Geordie accent, so I can't say the words toasted oats. And I've got glasses and a beard, so if you were going to do a bit of art about me, you could just get a boiled egg and draw on glasses and a beard, and that's what I look like.
Thank you. I will bear that in mind when I make an honorary Easter egg for you this year. A question for both of you. How has this experience influenced your practice, and what would you take into the future with you?
Shall I go first, Rob? Shall I jump in? I guess one of the things that was really interesting about the project is that it obviously transferred halfway through it from being in a physical space to having to happen in a digital space, which was a challenge, but then offered some really interesting insights that I think I've taken a lot from, particularly because the workshops that we did to create the animations were very material led, and I really got to see how materials can be used to tell stories, sometimes in a way that words can't convey as well, which hopefully once you explore the artwork you'll be able to see through all of the different animations, because each co-designer and I spent quite a long time together exchanging stories and chatting, all the while working with materials but remotely, so I could see the things happening through the screens, but somehow the materials sort of connected us physically.
That's wonderful, thank you. A real sensory experience I'm picking up there.
Yeah.
And Rob?
I think what I'll take into the future is more friends, because I just felt like I've made some great new friends, and Heart and Soul is just brilliant. I've been coming to the Beautiful Octopus Club for decades, and it's just the best club in London, and yeah, I just met some terrific people who I really like, and I'd like the friendships to grow and develop. And another thing is that when people think of a team, you always think of one bossy leader and then everybody else following, but we worked in a different way where everybody played an equal part and every voice was valid, and that's brilliant. So we all moved forward as a team, and what we created I'm really proud of. So I take pride, friendship and a new way of working.
Wonderful, and I can't wait for a big dance finally one day at the Octopus Club. So now these artworks are about changing the world, but what one thing would you ask our audience tonight to do differently?
I would ask people to really consider the talent of people with learning disabilities, which I've been blown away by throughout this project, where I've witnessed their enormous potential to just achieve spectacular things. And they've just got such incredible strategies and approaches to responding to the world and seeing it in a way that has taught me sort of new insights that I hadn't seen before. They're just such an incredible bunch of designers.
Thank you. And Rob?
I think be kind to yourself, because everybody's got good ideas. Everybody's got ideas, and sort of just to put them forward. You know, you don't have to be a game show host to sort of present things. Just, you know, tell people your ideas in a quiet, modest voice, if that's what you like, and that's fine. So just share and be proud, and we can all make things better if we just tell the world what we want.
Thank you. Ariel, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask?
I have a question. If you could give a copy of a newspaper to anyone in the world, who would you give it to?
I think we're having a little bit of interference on your mic there, so I'm just going to repeat that for anybody that didn't catch that. It's Rob, if you could give a copy of your newspaper to anyone in the world, who would you give it to?
I would give it to the Transport Secretary, because Raja came up with some great ideas for improving transport. But what I'd rather do is I would rather Raja was the Transport Secretary, because he'd just be brilliant. And actually, if you had the Heart and Soul team as the government, what a brilliant, you know, the country would run better. No disrespect to this government, but Heart and Soul running the country, that's brilliant. As soon as I win the lottery, that's going to happen.
Totally.
I think that's such a good idea. Gosh, imagine if only there were people in positions of power making decisions that actually had some lived experience, hey? Now, I've got some little comments coming in from people here. I'm at my kitchen table as we've just finished eating fried chicken. Yum, comfort food. I'm wearing a rose velour top and comfy leggings. Sounds gorgeous. Hello, everybody. I have been baking a cake. Oh, we've got some birthdays tonight, actually, in the creative team and the backstage team. So, yeah, we'll eat that imaginary cake right now. Someone's calling in from Dorset, and they are wearing a hoodie and jeans and just washing the dishes in my kitchen. Well, hopefully we're making that task less boring. And hello from Norfolk. I'm wearing my favourite sparkly green jumper. You're joining me in the sparkles tonight. Thank you. So, Alice and Rob, is there anything else that you would like to pass on to the audience tonight?
I guess maybe to have a think about what they would put into their own hopes and aspirations jar if they had the time to make their own, maybe would be worth thinking about.
I think right now that's such an important thing to be thinking about, because this time has been so tricky, but if it can have been about anything, then maybe it's about what noticing brings us joy, so we can begin to put things in place for that. And I'd hedge bets that actually those sorts of things are just the things that make the world inclusive too. What about you, Rob?
I think it's when it comes online, get a copy of the newspaper and read it and enjoy it, because it's really fun, and we put a lot of work into it and we're really proud of it, and every member of the team did a fantastic job, so well done us and them.
Absolutely. And any printing companies out there, if you want to do us a solid and get loads of those run off, we can do like an airdrop somewhere, maybe somewhere around Parliament, who knows. Ariel, do you have any more questions?
Not at the moment.
Okie doke. Now, have we got any more questions coming in from the audience? Haven't spotted any yet. Looking forward to hearing about your hope jars. Now, next up, we're going to be seeing the next piece of artwork. And this piece is called Play Together, and it's made by Felix Peckett.
Does anybody want to kick us off by telling us what it is that we've made with Felix and just describing what it is?
I like to kick off actually. What we did with Felix, the first thing we designed to make these cards for inclusive future, and it's about like access.
I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing artists to create a deck of cards that talk about how the future can be more inclusive, and they've made some original artworks for the jacks, queens, kings and aces and jokers, and we've also taken some designs and pictures from previous workshops with Inclusive Futures and Heart and Soul at the Hub. It's a really cool deck, it's a really great object, and it's been really fun talking about play and games with these guys.
So we have the 6 of spades.
Wait, Aishan, have you got it?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, match.
This image is about when people are at the project and giving room, when people don't move out of their way.
Under there where it says when people are respectful and give room, it's pink and it's sort of like a circle. When people don't move out the way, there's kind of lying down with a squiggly bit.
Awesome. Right, Felix, shuffle them up.
And it's Queener, the Queen of Spades.
She's orange and she's a ramp like you find on the train. And she's got red side bits and a smiley face and eyes.
She's really
She's
friendly.
a lady and a ramp.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to have a go at talking about how we made them? So we're interested in, with each of these artworks, what the process was. Does anyone want to say a few words about how we made the cards?
Working a team.
The way we made the cards was we did this activity called Exquisite Corpse, where different people design a body, like with a head, a middle and bottom, and then you can mix them up. And we were thinking about the themes that we got from when we asked the public about things they would like to change to make the world better for more people. And so we used those themes and also, things that were important to us to inspire the cards. And then from then we developed more designs.
Well, I guess we designed them from what we find important and combined them with different things to make our own special picture.
Yeah, I think there's like a bus, a taxi, a train, and then I used those. I drew those, and then I done them all as jacks, and yeah. So that's what I done.
Anybody got the 8 of clubs?
No.
Yeah, I've got that.
Ding,
Yes.
ding, 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 ding.
And it says, in the future, singers and musicians with disability will be given more chance to become professionals and to perform where they want and where they're pleased.
So how are the cards connected to the idea of an inclusive future?
Each of the face cards describes a theme, and as you'll see, each of the cards have got a wonderful character. Even though it's a deck of cards that we put together over some months, the artwork and the images come from over a whole year of creativity packed into a little deck.
And you can take it anywhere, so that's good also. and we've made a special pack. Like, we've come up with our own pack of cards.
When we started working with Felix, we talked a lot about including people and about, whether we should have a game where you can win or lose, and we had a lot of discussions about that. The deck of cards, I think the message that they give is to play together and to work together.
I think the card game itself is good, like anyone can play it. The whole idea of the project was to involve everyone, and I think the card game is good because, it will do that.
Okay, next up, Queen of Diamonds. It's Quest. I think Robin, you came up with this character.
Quest is a wheelchair because you can go on quests in a wheelchair. And it's blue. The seat is blue and the armrests are red and the feet rest is red and the handles to push are red and the wheels are black.
Asia, what do you say now you've got them all?
Enrique.
You got bingo.
Bingo!
Bingo. For Roger.
The quest is complete.
Oh, right. It's me. So, wow! Isn't the design of those cards amazing? And we're going to have a BSL changeover. And some exciting news. The Play Together cards will soon be available in the Heart and Soul web shop. We'll put a link in the chat below. And here is something you will all enjoy. It's a video of artwork made by Ben Connors. Cool. And it's called A World That Is and a World That Isn't. Take it away.
Hi everybody, my name is Ben Connors. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm an artist and I do a lot of work with Heart and Soul, and I've been really lucky to be working on the Inclusive Futures project at the Hub, and hope you enjoy the fruits of our creativity.
Can you tell us a bit about the artwork that you've made?
Yeah, so the title of the work is called A World That Is and a World That Isn't. And I was working with the co-designers to look at the elements of the world that they find accessible and the things that they find non-accessible, coming from their experiences, as people with learning disabilities or people who are autistic.
How was the artwork made? What was the process?
We came up with 13 kind of categories, if I remember correctly. And I was really curious that we didn't just illustrate those with drawings of the things, but we also looked at how we could represent them through shape, through colour, through texture, through lines, just other ways of visually representing how those things might feel as well as how they might look. So I set individual challenges.
Yeah, he'll just set the task and then we will just do it, because we were allowed to use our own ideas, so that's what I liked about it. And I've done the world that's perfectly flat, so people on wheelchairs can get around easy, so there's no hills. There was a shop that I've done that you can buy anything you want, and if they can't get it, they'll order it. If they can't order it, they'll make it. So yeah, I thought that's quite a good job.
Yeah, and so all of us were doing these creative challenges, which was really fun. Like one of mine was like draw a confusing signpost and draw a non-confusing signpost, and things like that. I think sometimes people without any kind of disability take it for granted, that things are clear, that they understand things, or that they can work it out by themselves. I loved having the Zoom calls with us all there doing different creative challenges, and it felt really fun to be challenged in a creative way and to know that you were doing something that was meaningful, like that the artworks were going to communicate how the world could be inclusive and how sometimes it's not very inclusive.
If somebody was about to explore your artwork, what top tips would you give them, or things would you tell them in advance?
Well, there's a series of filters that you can experience the work through. So I would say play around with the filters and see what combination of artworks you get. It's meant to be a playful experience in viewing the work as well.
What's the message that the artwork sends out into the world?
I think that the message that the artwork gives is that you can choose to make the world inclusive or not if you're a decision maker. You can choose to make signs clear. You can choose to ask disabled people. Even if you don't have a lot of time or a lot of money, you can choose still to have a feedback loop of some kind to understand what different people's experiences are and to not assume anything.
Right.
Welcome back, everyone.
Back to us then.
Now, we've heard from Shades that if Heart and Soul ran the government, I'd feel safe and secure in this world. Well, we're just going to have to make sure that Heart and Soul are on the next ballot. Who's going to be voting? Me? So we're also right now getting to welcome in our designers for the and our artists for the films that you just watched there and those artworks. It's Ben and Felix. So would you like to introduce yourselves? Ben, can you head first?
Hi everybody, my name's Ben. I'm an artist. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a white male with glasses, a beard, very curly hair right now, and it's great to be here.
Thanks so much. And Felix.
Hi everyone, my name's Felix. I'd like to use this as my sign name. It's a tick that I have when I listen to music. In the interest of diversity, I'm also a white man with a beard and glasses. I'm wearing chunky silver headphones and I've got a greeny blue jumper on. I also use the he, him, his pronouns.
Thank you very much. So, both of you, what have you enjoyed about working with the co-designers?
It's just like having a hose of creativity coming at you. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's brilliant. I don't know about you, Ben, but with some groups, if you're facilitating, you have to draw out more. But here it was just trying to orchestrate the flood of creative energy. It just felt so natural.
Yeah. I agree with you very much, Felix. And I think, it just seemed to flow from everybody involved. Like everyone's got such great ideas. And it's so much fun as well. I think that's a really important thing to say, is like how much enjoyment I got from this experience. Yeah.
I absolutely love that description, a hose of creativity. That's so good. That's so great. So a question for Felix. How do the cards relate to the future of the world?
So there are 13 themes, and as soon as I heard that, I was like, what else has got 13? It's a deck of cards. There we go. That's where the idea was born. But I think that the future has got a lot to do with rules and how we react to them, and a lot to do with creativity and how we work with each other. And that's exactly the same as how games and play work. You've got a set of rules that you play within, And I think an inclusive future is working out how we play within the rules that we've got and how we change the rules to suit us. I mean, anybody that's played Monopoly will know that you change the rules to suit the people at the table, and that's what an inclusive future does.
And a question for you, Ben. You mentioned in the video setting creative challenges. Could you share some of them with us, please?
Yeah, so as you saw in the video, I was really keen that we responded to things through line and shape and colour. So after an initial meeting of identifying some of the things that the challenges were find your own confused stance, draw how a narrow pavement looks using triangles, draw patient and annoyed people using colour, shape and outlines. Yeah, it was really fun. In fact, it was a very creative process for me to come up with the challenges. So, yeah.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about a triangular pavement?
Well, I was thinking that narrow pavements, like looking at a narrow pavement in perspective, looks like a triangle. So I thought maybe lots of would give that feeling of narrowness and yeah,
definitely, totally.
And so, if both of you were in charge of building a brand new world, given everything that you've learned about working with these guys and making the world inclusive, what 3 words would you use to describe the new world that you are going to build? First to Ben.
Okay. My first word would be love. I think we have to have love for each other. I think that would be my foundation.
Absolutely.
I'll do the other 2 as well. Okay. Would be creativity, because like my experience is that it brings us together, but also we're creating these new worlds. We're going to encounter some challenges, so we need creativity to work through them. And then listening. I think it's really important, like that we listen to people with learning disabilities, autistic people, or just, I guess, people who are having experiences of the world that it's not so easy or it's not so inclusive. And I think people who it does kind of suit should do a lot of the yeah.
I totally agree with you on that topic.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my 3.
Thank you. And audience, you can also be typing in now what your 3 words would be too. We'd love to hear those. Felix, what would yours be?
I can't get away from listening. That's one of the most radical things I've seen in Heart and Soul, is how meetings are done and how people listen. It's incredible. The amount of energy that goes into listening as well as speaking, and I think as designers, as members of society, listening is such a brilliant act of inclusion. And the next thing is the planning. So my second word is plan. So you don't know what's going to happen, but trying to anticipate and putting yourselves in somebody else's shoes and think and plan about what the consequences of your actions might be. And then the third word is kind of the opposite of that, is play. And play for me is allowing yourself to experiment and have fun and be open and fail safely. When the way we played together with the co-designers, winning was something that happened or didn't happen to you. But one of our principles was play is the point, is that the actor getting involved and playing and the feeling of winning or the feeling of losing is something you can enjoy. And so, listening to what other people need, planning for it, and not just storming ahead with your own ideas, but then giving yourself that freedom to play and experiment is how I design the world from scratch. But there's no flood coming, I don't think. That's not a plan. I hope I don't have to redesign the world. It would be a terrible responsibility for all me.
I guess so. But you have to be aware, of course, that heart and soul are now in charge. So we have very little to worry about now because, we're in good hands, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If heart and soul were doing it, I'd have no worries.
Only we could rule the world.
I think so. I'd definitely vote for it. But I love that as a mantra. Play is the point. That's so gorgeous. That's so gorgeous. Play is the point. So, I mean, people are going absolutely bonkers for these cards. They're so excited and they can't wait to order them. I'm reading here, love the deck idea. Can't wait to get our playing cards. These are amazing. We'll be able to purchase them after. We'd love to look through them all. Yes, they will be available. If they're not available now, they'll be available very, very soon. And you can get them at the Heart and Soul shop. And you can get them for birthdays, early Christmas presents. You are sorted. So going back to kind of like mantras, maybe for this time, what might be like a really useful thing? Maybe if either of you have mantras that you sometimes use, because I just love that idea of play is the point. I think to have those little mantras sometimes to just remind ourselves of the really important things, especially during this time when we're not being able to be creative with other people in spaces like we usually are. Are there any other little gems and wisdom that you can give us?
Oh gosh.
I'm putting you on the spot now.
I mean, I don't know if I'm not always so good at putting things into words, but I just think the togetherness and creating together. I mean, I guess that's also playing together as well. I've been over the last kind of 12 months that I've been doing things with Heart and Soul online. We've really been connecting creatively together, and it's been wonderful. Like it's really, it's been a beautiful thing, and I'm really so appreciative of it.
And as you said, sometimes it is a bit trickier to put things into words. So if that feeling was a gesture, what would that gesture be?
Oh, you can't say that to someone with tics. That's not fair.
I love it. That's so good. I think mine would be that. Oh, a big old hug. So some people are giving us some of their words now. We've got happiness, togetherness, inspiration, compassion, collective, innovation, creative, fun, loving, love, laugh, live, love, respect, togetherness, more laughter, more listening, kindness, excitement, kindness, difference, splodge, stretch, and hoot. I love those. That's just a completely interpretive one, that one. Splodge, stretch, and hoot. What would your 3 words be, Ariel?
They'd be
Togetherness. And play. Yeah. Awesome. So next up, thank you so much, by the way, for Ben and Felix for joining us. Any last words that you'd like to pass on to the audience before you depart?
After you, Felix.
Just thank you for helping make this an inclusive future. I think we can do it.
I agree, and I hope you all really enjoy exploring the the artwork. So we've created together.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So next up, we have got another film, and that film is called Can We All Be Designers, which seems very much on topic, hey? After that film, so you can either stick around and watch that film for a few minutes, or you can go and take a little comfort break. And then after that, we're going to have a Q&A with some of the other designers. So we'll see you in a sec.
Obviously, everyone's contribution is important, but what's more important is everyone's contribution to the project, like all together. You know, like when you're baking a cake, yeah, the eggs are important and the flour is important. But what's really important about a cake is when you mix those things together. And it was just really brilliant to be able to work with so many people.
Being a team, working with a friend.
Yes, working together as a team and learning from each other. I would like to continue working together. To learn from each other's mistakes, you have to take your time.
Yeah, I think working together, it gives a bigger picture.
Will and Chris, they took us through the process. So I guess they gave us a structure of how you would approach a design problem, for want of a better word, you know, like buses not having big enough wheelchair spaces and that kind of thing.
It's really nice to work with them, and they're really helpful and they're really kind.
Also, working with other people as well was really good, like to meet new people.
What did you like working with them? Helping them to do what? Teach them how to do it.
How did that make you feel?
Happy.
I think like some of the RSCA students, they really understood like about having more spaces, and in London it can be really busy and wanting space just to like take time out. And it was really good to talk about it. Hear people have the same thing.
They were like appreciated what we're like talking about, and we was like telling our stories about what we want to change and make it new and better.
You know, everyone came up with ideas, and you know, some people had the idea about the train.
If I make a train, I will design it for visually impaired people first.
For disabled people.
For disabled people.
Like we have to write our ideas, what we want to change. Some is like drawing pictures, and I think some of us been writing about people like in wheelchairs and disabled access.
We had different groups. It was like the 3D modelling, and there was drawing with Ben, and doing radio, and everyone got to take part in everything. We were listened to properly, and I think that is really valuable. I guess the remit of the project is not that we're going to actually change the whole world or anything, but we made a difference. And also the RCA students are people that are going to like go on to design things, and they all have had a better knowledge. Like Aishin said, we were teaching them. They have a better knowledge now about disability and about design and about how it can be different and how that can be good.
Let's get to the beat. Yeah, let's get to the remix. Everyone's looking really cool tonight. Let's get to the beat. Yeah, let's get to the remix. Get to the groove. Let's get to the beat. Let's get to the beat. Yeah, let's get to the remix. Let's get to the beat. Let's get to the beat. Yeah, let's get to the remix. Get to the groove. Let's bring it on to the party and make it cool. Let's bring it on to the party. Make it cool. Get to the groove. Let's get the hips and body moving. DJ Roger. Look out for Friday. I've got my beautiful nice clothes on. Get to the groove. Get to the groove. This is my Bollywood remix. Get to the groove. Get to the groove. My name is DJ Roger. DJ Roger. My name is DJ Roger. DJ Roger.
Time. Please introduce yourselves.
I'll go first. My name is Will. My pronouns are he, him. I am a 20-something-year-old white guy with scruffy brown hair. I've got light blue eyes and a big gap in my 2 front teeth. And today I'm wearing a very colourful pink and yellow spotty jumper. It's really lovely to be here.
Hello, I'm Robin. I've got a purple hat. I'm a white woman in my early 30s. I've got purpley dark blue glasses and a support back called Henry.
Yes!
Hi, Henry.
Hey,
Hi, Robin.
Henry. Oh,
Is it
that's
hello?
my absolute favourite. So great. Hi, Henry.
Hello.
Hello, Henry. How's your time at Crew?
You've been to Crew without me? Really?
No, it's an in-joke.
Raja, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Raja. I am 30 years old. I'm wearing glasses and I've got a black t-shirt on tonight. And I'm so excited for this event tonight.
Thanks for joining us, Raja. I have to say, your track is so good, right? What do you think? It's so good. I mean, we turned the heat up in here. It is fire. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You, Chris.
Okay. I'm Chris. I'm a designer and researcher from the Helen Hamlyn Centre for Design at the Royal College of Art, and I'm one of the core team members at Heart and Soul in the Hub. My preferred pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a Scottish guy. I'm white. I have glasses on, and I'm pretty hairy. I have longish hair and a big beard. And I'm opposite of Will. I'm all in black for some reason this evening.
Thanks so much. And just a little message to the audience, please do keep your questions coming in. Now is the time. If you have any questions to ask our wonderful artists and our collaborators, drop those in the box right now. Ariel, would you like to ask a question to Raja?
Raja, I have a question for you. What you enjoyed about this project, and how did you get involved with it?
I joined this project because I love to learn about because I love to take things around things that people with disability opportunities because some transport there and some do, but it's a bit tricky for people. It's a bit difficult for people because people need to get around, and some places where people go, some places like the underground don't have no access, and because it's difficult for wheelchairs, and we need and it's because I joined this project because I want to make it change and I want to make it new and better for people with wheelchairs and people with disability, so they can get on the train better and they can have ramps as well on it, help so they can have when they're on the underground they can get help with the ramp on it and get on the train better.
Yeah, I think so few people understand how inaccessible the underground and UK public transport is. It's a real privilege for any of us that has access to those things without need to plan for hours before or ring up people or consider if there are steps or if there's a ramp available. I think so few people really understand how few of those stations are accessible. So yeah, that work is long overdue, and unfortunately it's left to disabled people to speak up about that, but that shouldn't be the case. We all need to take that money.
Basically, other thing, because when you're on bus, people wheelchairs on buses, to be in that wheelchair space, it's their priority to be in that space. And sometimes the moms with buggy, they want to just argue with the wheelchair and they want to be there because it's not their place to be there, but it's the wheelchair's priority to have that space.
Yeah, absolutely. There just needs to be much more space for wheelchairs and buggies, and then everybody that isn't able to walk the distance would be able to travel fairly. Hey, we've actually got a question from the audience for you, Raja. What makes you most upset about transport?
It makes me upset when sometimes when moms with the buggy and they get on the bus and they see me on it. And sometimes they argue with the driver and they want me to move and they want to go there. That really upset me sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I think Robin's got a question.
Yeah, Robin?
Well, really, I just wanted to support Raj's point and say, most people who have a child and they get a buggy, that's their choice. But when you have a wheelchair, you don't choose to be in a wheelchair. And I think sometimes people don't always understand the different kinds of wheelchairs that there are. So sometimes people need a big wheelchair because they need long battery life, or because they need a wheelchair that supports their upper back and their lower back, or because they need a wheelchair that can stand up so that they can reach things in the supermarket. So it all depends so much, and it's not just that person's got a big wheelchair because they're inconsiderate. It's not like that at all, and it's actually really difficult to get a wheelchair from the NHS, and to get one that fits you properly, and especially if you're a child and you're growing, then obviously you would grow out of your chair and then need another one. And also the wheelchairs, sometimes people have other medical devices that have to be attached to it, like oxygen, or if they're fed through a peg, for example, which is a hole in your tummy, basically, so that you be fed through a tube. So I just think that the world just needs to educate itself a bit more and to ask questions. And I think that maybe sometimes we're taught we shouldn't ask questions, but I think events like this enable people to ask questions. So when you're writing on Slido, please, don't worry about offending someone. Like, if it's a genuine question, then we'll genuinely answer it.
I think that's really generous of you as well, Robin. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, we must take care of each other, but if it is a genuine question, we are here to answer. I have another question, I think probably for all of you. How long does it take to make the cards, and was it fun to do? Thanks, from someone in London.
Hello, someone in London. Well, it took quite a long time. I think that the designing in a way was quite quick, but I think whenever you get anything professionally printed, that always seems to take a really long time. It has to go back and forth, and there's a lot of I mean, we didn't really have to do that. It was Felix that did all that stuff, Felix and Will, but that was the bit that took the longest. I think the going back and forth to the printers, and also I think that when you're doing something like that, you might worry about what would be the most accessible way of presenting the cards, because you know that kind of once you send them to the printers, you can't go back.
Thanks so much.
Who is this person from London?
Sorry, I missed that, Ariel. Do you want to say that again?
Okay, so who is this person from London? Is he a mysterious person somewhere?
We're all a bit mysterious in London, aren't we? Nobody talks to one another. We're all keeping it a secret.
Well, I agree with Robin actually, but the card, what we did, we had to like, my card design was actually what I made. My card design was I did a symbol of the NHS and the rainbow, because I'm a bit worried about the NHS, because a lot of hospitals don't have wards, but they don't have no beds in there, and it's a bit difficult for patients, and they have to wait so long, and it's a bit difficult, because we need to have more beds in the hospital, because it's difficult for patients, because sometimes they have to leave the hospital, they have to get recharged from the hospital, because the doctor's saying they can't stay no longer because they need the bed. I think a lot of hospitals need more beds in there.
I think that we're really lucky to live in a democracy, but I do think that sometimes people need to maybe look at the government more like a council or something. You know, like that politicians are constantly aware that, you know, they're there for this term and they want to be popular with voters and their constituents, and it sometimes that means the focus has moved away from what is actually important, but also there's so many different opinions of what's important, but I think that I have a feeling that the general public believe that the NHS is important, and like today they said they were going to do a 1% pay rise, and you know, for a lot of nurses that doesn't seem like enough. Now they're saying it's all of the NHS, but you know, particularly nurses, that's quite an underpaid profession. And there's also a lot of other people that, like porters, for example, and care assistants, who really put a lot into supporting people, and they don't necessarily get paid very well either. I think if politics could really focus on what the best interest of the people was, and not about, you know, how you can save money or give money to your mates or stuff like that, then that would be better.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Sorry, go ahead, Will.
There was a lot of chat earlier in the event calling for heart and soul for government. So I think that's an interesting idea. And I also think that these 4 artworks that are being launched this evening in a creative and accessible way take us one step further towards knowing what a world might be like, not just if heart and soul were government, which would be fantastic, but if it was more representative of the experiences and the opinions of people with learning disabilities and autistic people. So heart and soul for government, and also, yeah, look at the artworks, because I think they'll give us a pointer in the right direction.
Yeah, 100% will. I think this is the thing that frustrates me so much about, I don't know, like this notion that that utopia is unattainable, and that it doesn't pay, and it's not feasible. And actually, when you really deeply look at it, it totally is. And making the world more inclusive, making it anti-racist, making it making sure that everybody has an equitable chance at things, making sure that we're protecting our planet, all those things are all part of the exact same plan, and we could all just be living a much, much better and fairer time. So yeah, 100% heart and soul as the next government.
I think
think the words that Robin used about democracy as well. I think I've not until this moment thought about it, but a lot of what the project was about with the Inclusive Futures part of it was democratizing design. It was about listening, and it was about acting on that. And I think even within like the card sets and what have you, it was that kind of fast process, but all the images and all the thinking behind that, it's a lot of listening and a lot of capture, and now it's moving forward with it.
Designing with difference in mind. Not to just fit one notion of somebody, but to include everybody in mind.
Definitely. Life's messy, so we're trying to get some of that messiness in there,
Absolutely. So we have another question from the audience. What environment do you need to make art? Is there a particular place? Is there a time of day, a background noise, a particular brush or pen? That's to anybody that'd like to answer. Robin?
I think what you need most is permission. You need to know that art is not just for children, that art is for everyone. And I think that there was I think Felix, or maybe it was Rob, said something about that art is proper, like it's proper work. So I think it's the needing a permission, but also I think everyone's got to be like in heart and soul. Everyone supports each other. Like there's like 160 people, like the core group of people that access Heart and Soul, but it reaches more people. But there's no like, oh, that person is special. We're all special, and we're all able to contribute, and we're all worthwhile. And I think sometimes, and maybe I was hoping that maybe this would come out of the pandemic, that exams in school are not reflective of what real life is like. So if you're not good at exams, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be good in life as an adult. And it does seem to me like, in Heart and Soul, we're so lucky that we just support each other, and we're all developing together. And that then means that we collaborate with each other, because there's no like, oh, I want to be better than that person. But it's like, wow, that person's got really cool ideas. Maybe we could work together, or maybe I've got a cool idea that I'd like to try. And I think that collaboration is important.
Absolutely, collaboration is so important. Raja?
I agree with Robin, but sometimes when we do all sorts, sometimes we have to help each other. When I was involved with this project, I was only helping. Sometimes, like, I'm in a wheelchair, and sometimes the other person has to help one of my friends, like Bobby, because he's blind, because he can't see where he's going. Sometimes he has to hold on to my chair, and I have to like walk him to the lift, and walk him out the lift to his seat, and I have to walk him slowly. That's what I'm doing. Like, we're helping each other. That's what we're doing, basically.
I think that's such a good point, Raja, and so important to remember. And my brilliant friend Jess Tom, I'm sure lots of you know who she is, but she often talks about independence doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing it alone. You can have other people to aid your independence, and it's that it's one and the same, collaboration, isn't it? And the more collaboration there can be, the more intersections there can be in the conversation, and the more that we can support each other to make sure that everyone is able to access it in the same way. So we've got a question here from another pal of mine, Kian Binchy. Poop poop. Yeah.
Kian, hi.
Hi, Kian.
Hey, Kian.
Amazing artist and poet, and definitely check out his work. Hi, Robin. How did you get involved with this? I mean, I suppose this is for all of you. How did you get involved with Heart and Soul?
Well, it's through my friend Ben. So you saw Ben earlier with this big curly hair right now, and his big beard. I think he looks really cool. And anyway, me and Ben have been friends for a really long time, like over 10 years now. And he told me about Heart and Soul. And at first I was a bit like not sure, but he really encouraged me. And then I just met loads of really amazing people. And then I was just invited to be part of the core team for Heart and Soul at the Hub. So the people that were sort of designing the project, because I'd done a bit of research before, and because I don't know, I don't really know why I was asked, but I was asked and I was thrilled. And then when we got the hub, I mean, I didn't think we'd get the hub, but when we did, I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's been an amazing 2.5 years.
Yeah. When I first joined Heart and Soul, joined also, I was like, when I came in and also I met everyone and all the staff I met, and then when I heard about they were doing a project at the hub, I was told to do this. They asked me to do this project, Inclusive Future, and I said, yeah, I would love to do the project and enjoy it. And then when I asked to be involved with the project, they said I got good ideas. I'm a good person. I got really good ideas. So when I joined the project, and when I heard that they told me that I'm one of the co-designers, I was so excited, and I was so happy to do this project and be involved and make it better for people in wheelchairs and people with disability.
So maybe you could chat to us a little bit more about how that design process worked. So how did you work as co-designers with the artists?
Well, when I was being chosen to be one of the co-designers, I was excited, and then when they told me that who I'm working with and who the protocol, I'm a co-designer, and I was so excited, and they said to me that I have good ideas and I come up with things I can design and make it better and make it change.
Sorry, I keep raising my hand because I have autism and I don't really read social prompts very well, and I don't want to butt in or like be rude because I don't want to be a rude person, but I don't always know when I should speak. But just to say that early on, when we started working on the co-design project, a few of us sat down with Ben and we developed this big, it was a huge wall that we called the Wall of Change, and it was Ben drew these big pictures of these sort of imaginary inventions that we had that would make the world a better place. So like mine was a tin opener. I think Bobby did a thing about making train stations more friendly and accessible. And yeah, so then we asked the public to fill out a worksheet of their own imaginary ideas of how the world could be more inclusive. And I think we got about 315 responses. And that exhibition wasn't up very long. It was only 2 or 3 months, I think. And then those 315 responses, we put them into themes. And there were 13 themes, as Felix mentioned earlier. And then we started working around those themes and trying to explore, how we might be able to influence the world to be better.
Then after we all came to the hub again from Heart and Soul, we all was in a group, and we came in and we did some workshop, like we were making a model about things what we like to change and make it better accessible, and we were given these little sheets of like fake passports, and we have to write down things what we want to change and what we want to make better and give it a name. And then we went. Then some of us have been interviewing in the studio, talking about stories about what things we want to change, and we made an audio video about things we want to change. Some people said they want help with their freedom pass and all that changes, and what we did. And we were talking about, some of us been talking about buses and changes. I'm going to hand you over to Will. He might tell you a bit more.
The only thing I would throw into the mix is we're hearing from the brilliant Robin and the amazing Raja this evening. They are 2 of the 6 co-designers, so just a massive shout out also to Aishan, to Castro, to Thomas, to Bobby, because without the 6 of them, we wouldn't have had a project. So yeah, all I would add to Raja's brilliant words, big up the rest of the co-designers.
Yeah, we had the ultimate co-designer team.
Definitely.
How did you choose which artists that you wanted to work with?
I think I like to work with Rob again because his newspaper newspaper idea was really good.
Roger, I think the question was, how did we choose the artists?
We chose the artists. What we did, we had like 10 artists was on the board, and the wall we'll put up on the wall, and we had to look at their idea and choose which one is good for us to work with. And what we did, they sent us a video of their ideas, so I we watched it and they told us about it, and we read their script to send us, and I think what we did first, we chose them, and then we chose like 4 artists who we want to work with. That's the idea. I'm going to hand it over to Robin.
You're on mute, Robin.
Sorry. We put out a call to ask artists to work with us, and they sent us like their CV and told us about work they'd done before, and then we sort of gave them a creative brief, asked them to tell us how they would meet that creative brief, and then like Raja said, we put them all up on, we had a big pinboard wall and we put them all up on there, and then we voted and chose which artists we wanted to work with, and there was quite a lot of debate about it.
And we've given a sheet with the artist names, and we have to like stick we cut with the new stickers, different colour stickers like orange, green, and different colours. We have to put down which artist we want to work with, and we chose the 4 artists. We chose Ben, Connor, Rob, Alice, and Felix. So I think their idea was brilliant, and I really love Rob's idea because his newspaper idea was really easy to do, and Alice's dream tree was really easy to do, and Felix's game idea, card game, was easy to do, and we know Ben from Heart and Soul because we chose him because he's got good creative art. He could do with us, and he gave us ideas to do, and it's brilliant. And when we chose them, we'll send them an email and said to them that they've been voted to work with us, and they're excited when they got the news.
I'd be so excited to get that gig. I mean, it just sounds like you all had such an amazing and inspiring time. So I know that Robin is just sorting out their microphone at the moment, or their maybe their fan or something, because it's a bit noisy on the stream. But you know, this is live theatre, I suppose. Hi, we're back. Wonderful. Oh, you've got a proper mic like you're going to do a gig. I'm expecting a song from you in a second, Robin. So, Robin, you had some really wonderful thoughts and reflections about working with the students from the RCA. And I'd like to ask everybody, who would you like to work with in the future? It might be students, it might be artists, it might be somebody in government. Who do you think needs to know the Heart and Soul way?
I like to work with the artists again who I've been working with, because I like to work with Rob again because his newspaper was really good to do. And when I worked with Rob, I gave him my ideas and he wrote it down. I like to work with Rob again and make another news article.
I'd like to work with anyone who would be able to actually make a change, because I think that too often we talk a lot about what we'd like to change and how we could do it. There's a lot of toolkits and things out there, but the change doesn't actually happen. So I think that that's really important, that change happens. So anyone that could make change happen.
Dead important. So yeah, anyone out there that can make change, get in touch with Heart and Soul. And we have one last question for tonight. I mean, these questions are now coming in. If you have any unanswered questions, then get in touch with Heart and Soul. Maybe send them an email, write them a letter. We've got a question here, which is, how can you join Heart and Soul?
Go to their website, www.heartandsoul.co.uk. I'll spell the website. So it's www.heartandsoul.co.uk, I think, or it might be .com.
I'm sure they can find it. Thank you so much, Robin.
You can go on there and you can fill in the form on there.
Thanks so much. Now, very, very shortly, we are going to launch this website officially. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Are there any last things that you would like to pass on to our audience before we say cheerio for now?
Just like to say thanks so much for having me. Thank you, Wellcome, for funding the project. Thank you, Heart and Soul, for inviting me. Thank you to my fellow co-designers. Big shout out to Melissa, because she really works hard making stuff happen, and also Jenny and Helen. And yeah, big shout out to Rosie, because she worked with Raja making the Bollywood mix. That's really cool.
So good.
I want to say a big thank you to Melissa to work with us with the audio recording and all that, and helping us work with us with this project. And thank you to Jenny as well for working with us to get involved with us, and all the artists like Rob, Alice, Felix, and Ben, and all the other co-designers, Asian, Thomas, Castro, and Robin, and Will and Chris.
And where can we listen to your track again, Raja?
And our BSL interpreters, we should thank them as well.
If you want to listen to my track again, you should find it on the Heart and Soul website.
And we're all going to go and do that now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just after this call, we're going to go to the Heart and Soul website once it's launched, and we're going to have a little boogie to Raja's track, because it's absolutely banging. Oh, hang on, it's not released just yet. You're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait. Look, you're being spoiled enough tonight. You've seen all this amazing artwork. You've got to hang out with all these amazing people from Heart and Soul. And you've even got an opportunity to win the newspaper and to buy the deck of cards. So, I think you've been plenty spoiled.
Just to say that you can listen to Raja's Bollywood Mix on the Soho radio website. Heart and Soul did a takeover in November. And one of the shows was Raja's Bollywood Mix. So it's Soho Radio, Heart and Soul Takeover on Mixcloud.
Perfect. Perfect. That sounds absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Robin, Raja, Will, Chris. Sorry, Raja, do you want to say something else?
And I want to say thank you to all the audience for coming tonight, and especially to all my cousins and my aunt and all my family for joining us tonight to this event. Thank you.
Poop Poop family shout out! Hello, Mum! Don't know if you're watching. Thanks so much, everyone. We're going to go and launch this website.
Yes.
So, everyone, sadly, that is all we have time for tonight. But thank you so much for coming. Now, we have done a lot of thank yous already by Robin and Raja. They did it perfectly. But I'm just going to give one last shout out to our contributors, the AV, our producers, the moderators, the live captioners, our BSL interpreters, and of course, all you wonderful, wonderful audience. So please stay connected with Wellcome Collection, and you can keep your watch out on welcomecollection.org for any updates, upcoming programs and stories. For instance, next Thursday, you get to join them for Your Den, which is a live and intimate conversation with artist and musician SOP and their network of chronically ill friends discussing how it felt to be shielding during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Remember to stay connected with the Heart and Soul at the Hub too. Check out their website to find out how the world could be more creative, fun, kind, and equal. And of course, make sure that you check out a different kind of future online exhibition. The link is being posted in the chat now, which Jess is going to officially open in.
Right, here it is. I've made it just like we are opening up an old-fashioned mall, right? Here we go. Right, everyone, count us down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cut! Officially open! Well everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for the official open of the Heart and Soul at the Hub website. Make sure you go and check out all those amazing artworks that you saw tonight, and your chance to go and find a real life copy of the newspaper and even purchase a pack of cards. And of course, to listen to Raja's track coming out soon. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you to my co-host Ariel. Of course.
No problem.
It's been wonderful co-hosting with you, even from a distance. Thanks so much, everyone. And now we're going to silent disco out.